Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life in a Shell. I'm your host, Christina Schell, and welcome back to this week's episode. I hope you guys all had a fantastic week. Thank you for tuning back in, and you guys, the love, the follows on Spotify, I am blown away. Thank you so much for being here, wherever you are tuning in from. Now, for this week's episode, I just want to yap. I just want to talk about what's on my brain. I'm then going to answer some questions, and we're going to have a rock and rollin' time. Okay, so in my show notes for this week, I was at the coffee shop and I was like, what am I obsessed with? Let's tell the listeners. And I wrote down iced coffee. And I feel like I wrote that down because I wasn't really awake yet and that I really like iced coffee. You guys, I kind of have an addiction. It's really bad. I have an espresso machine at home and I'm buying like coffees every day. And it just honestly helps keep me inspired, I say. But I think I need to drink a little bit more water. Anyways, next up on my list, I have not stopped thinking about this all week long. Daniela Dibbs said this in one of her spin classes this past week, and she said, put power into the plan, not the past. And I was like, whoa, Lord have mercy. That hit me. And that is so good. And anyways, it was like the very beginning of spin class and I was like, how am I going to remember this? And I remembered it as the 3 Ps. And I have another motto for the 3 Ps. Maybe I'll talk about that later. Anyways, I remembered it as the 3 Ps. And I was like, put power into the plan, not the past. Iconic, as Daniela Dibbs is. But I wanted to share that because I think it's really powerful. And I don't know. I wrote it down and something I look at every single day, and I'm considering making it my screensaver, my little lock screen. I think, you guys, I was talking about this in a past mentorship this week. I think it is so powerful to put something that inspires you or that's going to keep you motivated and driven and just chasing those dreams or stopping that habit, whatever it is. Put something inspirational on your screensaver on your phone because you look at it how many times a day? You know, mine right now is super inspirational and it always keeps me on track. And I'm like, yes. Okay, before I forget, I quickly just mentioned that I have another theory for the 3 Ps. And I quickly want to explain that because I think it's so beneficial for creatives and artists. And honestly, you could probably take this into account in any way. But how I choose the projects I'm a part of or the work that I take on is the 3 Ps. And I have to have 2 to 3. I have to. 2 or 3 out of the 3. But if I have only 1, well, it's going to start to feel like a chore and like pulling teeth, and I'm probably not going to want to be there. So it's people, pay, project. 2 out of the 3 at least. So if the people are amazing and the project is fantastic and say the pay is not great, well, I'm still probably going to do it because I'm going to have a great time with the people and I really believe in the project. Say the pay is fantastic and the people are really cool, but the project's shit. Well, I'm still going to do it because I'm going to have a great time and I'm going to get paid. And well, if the project's amazing and the pay is amazing and the people, well, maybe aren't, it depends, but I'll probably do it because it's going to be a really good little move in my career and I can suck it up for the day. You know, I hope that makes sense. But 3 Ps, 2 out of the 3. That's how I choose the projects that I do. And I forget who told me this back in the day, but it also has always stuck with me. Okay, moving on. I am going to play a little audio clip, okay, of Cynthia Erivo because this is living rent-free in my mind. I saw it on TikTok and I was like, ooh, this is good. And I'm going to start applying this to my life because I think this is absolutely amazing advice. So I'm going to play the little audio clip.
Therapist said, when you do something or you eat something or you buy something or drink something, ask yourself, are you loving yourself when you do that? And if the answer is yes, you've done a good job. And if the answer is maybe not, choose something different.
Isn't she so fantastic? I think she's absolutely brilliant. And I am so excited for Wicked 2. I can't wait. Okay, I feel like I'm just going to share another little clip, and this one is from Queen Miley Cyrus. This is everything. Let's play the clip and then we will talk about it.
And what I want to say is that legends get scared too. I'm scared right now. But the difference is we do it anyway. And all of you can do that every single day. It's legendary to be afraid and do it anyway. There is no such thing as failure when you try. That's the only way you lose. The way to win is to try. So here I am. I'll show you. I made 2 speeches. One long and one short if I get scared.
And a legend she is. I love that, y'all. The way to win is to try. And that sticks with me all the time. I do mentorship sessions, as I have mentioned previously before. And I'm noticing that a lot of clients that I'm working with, what they're working on is their confidence in how to move through that fear of chasing their dreams or starting their own small business or making their, passions into their full-time reality. And I always say, those feelings before you go on stage, and it's like you're so freaking scared, but the moment that you step foot on stage, you feel so full and so complete and so whole. I feel most myself when I'm performing on stage, and I know that so many artists can also relate to that. And I think we just have to remember that, like, that fear before we go and do something we're so passionate about is always a really good feeling. But I feel like sometimes we get stuck in that anxiety of it. And like Miley says, the way to win is to try. And I just love that so much. I can only speak from my experience as a performer and what I do, but I know that this is relatable in so many aspects of so many different people's lives, just in different capacities. So you guys, just try it, because that is winning, okay? Okay. And also, if you want more info on my mentorship sessions, message me, because I still have some space for August and I would love to work with you. Okay, back to the list of things I'm obsessed with. We have iced coffee, film photos, photo shoots, my Spotify playlist. Ooh, I am obsessed with that. I am so obsessed with my Spotify playlist. It's like 16 hours of pure magic. If you want a good playlist to listen to, you're going to want to download it. It's on Spotify. It's called Life in a Shell Soundtrack. And yeah, I'm always adding to it. I'm always cleaning it up, and I'm very proud of it. Also, I have written down, I'm obsessed with a Spotify DJ. Have you guys seen that option on your little home screen? It's kind of like in a playlist. Anyways, I click it and it's my personalized DJ. And it's always talking to me. It's like, hey, Christina, I'm going to play you some songs I know you're going to want to hear right now. And I'm like, thank you. Groovy. And I never am disappointed. It kind of like blends in, fades into the next song. And I'm also hearing new music that it's playing all the time. And that's honestly what I've been listening to. That, the DJ option, or my soundtrack. I also have written down wholesome conversations, and I wrote that down because I have been having so many beautiful conversations. A lot of these conversations are about chasing dreams, and it's been really inspiring to see so many people around me just at that point when they're like, you know what? I'm just going to chase it because why not? Like, why not? And I'm like, yes, fearless, badass, let's go. But I feel like a lot of people are stepping into their power of wanting to really chase their passions or start their own business, and I am here for it. I've been noticing that I'm feeling really uplifted after all those conversations, and I'm just like, I love it. And when I wrote that down, I noticed that my card game, We're Not Really Strangers, was sitting right next to me. So I also wrote that down. And why I wrote that down is because I'm like, maybe we should pull a few cards and just see what comes up and see how I answer them. I'm going to do like a little 3-card pull right now. And if you don't know what We're Not Really Strangers is, it's a card game to build connection. And I think it's really beautiful. Okay, so how We're Not Really Strangers works is there's a bunch of questions, and you answer them. So you get to know each other on a deeper level. And there's 3 different levels. So there's level 1, that is perception. There's level 2, that's connection. And level 3 is reflection. So let's pull one card from each category. Okay, so the first card I pulled was from level 1, perception. And it is, do you think I intimidate others? Why or why not? So basically you would answer this about me and I would answer this about you. Since I'm playing alone, I'm going to answer this about myself. And what is funny is I actually feel like this is my biggest pet peeve. I have received that I am intimidating way too many times to count. I get it too often, especially in dating, which we will talk about dating after these questions. But it bothers me because I'm like, I am not intimidating. I don't think. I feel like I'm super kind and that I can have a conversation with anybody, and I never want people to feel intimidated by me. But then I realized maybe I am intimidating because I'm hot and I'm confident and I can talk to anybody, and I know not everybody can. I don't know. That was such an Aries answer. Okay, level 2, connection. The card says, do you think the image you have of yourself matches the image people see you as? Ooh, damn. Yes and no. I think more than ever, I've been the most authentic. And so I would say we are the closest to yes we've ever been. But I think I have a hard time sharing my struggles. I kind of just lean into I'm badass. Woo! Everything's groovy. When I'm basically just like, fake it till you make it. We got this. Mindset. I guess I could share a little bit more of my vulnerability. I think I've taken a step away from that, and I think it's because I'm a little nervous to do so. So I'm starting to try to really own to speak my truth, even if my voice shakes. Okay, level 3, reflection. The card is, if we were in a band, what would our band name be? I have a band name saved in my back pocket because maybe one day I'll create a band. Who knows, right? And I'm also going to say, episode 4 right here, this is copywritten, all right? If anybody takes this, I'll be like, actually, I did it first. But the band name would be the Electric Cowgirls. And hopefully I get really good to play the bass. And speaking of bass, let's go into the other note that I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with my bass. So about a year ago, I bought a bass. I rented it and I started to play it, and it was so much fun. And then it was time to go and return it. And I was like, wait a second, how much is it to buy it? And I flirted my way into the best deal ever. And it was just like a little too good to be true. And girl math, I could not walk away. So I bought the bass. Is this 1960s inspired white gorgeous Fender bass guitar. I named her Priscilla, and we know how to play 2 songs. We know how to play Feel Good Inc. by the Gorillaz, and also I'm trying to get really good at Another One Bites the Dust. Right now it's a little slow, but I'm getting there, and you know what? My goal is to get so good that I can serenade you guys on the podcast and play you guys Another One Bites the Dust. How sick would that be? I think that would be awesome. You know what the goal would be though with bass? It would be to make my own theme song to enter the podcast into. How iconic and badass would that be? That's the new goal. That is the new goal. And speaking of music, this actually leads me perfectly into the next point I have that I'm obsessed with. I wrote down boys. And then I wrote down, I hate dating apps, ! Not obsessed, ! You guys, it has been so hard to meet men and go on dates. Dating apps are just so not for me. So I wrote this down because I wanted to share. I am really trying to put myself out there, and I'm trying to have conversations in the wild, in real life. And I'm leading with compliments like, oh my God, hey, sick tea. Where'd you thrift that? Because I know vintage. And I just feel like that's what like sparks them up to like get really like excited and have a little conversation. It's been really scary. But yeah, still no success. So maybe I'm plugging this. Anybody have any cute friends? Also, how fun would it be to do a podcast episode where I basically like speed date men? That's kind of what I want to use Hinge for. Maybe I like make a prompt and I'm like, who wants to be on a speed dating podcast episode with me? I think it'd be so much fun to banter with men and make a podcast episode out of it. I don't really know how I would do that, but I'm going to put that out into the universe because I think that would be hilarious. Okay, so we have time for some questions, and I had some people call in and leave me a message on my shell this week asking me questions that they want me to answer on the podcast. So let's play a few.
My question for you, Miss Christina, is I would love to know what is your most favorite song in the entire world to choreograph to?
Okay, this is the hardest question ever to answer, and I don't even think I can answer this. I think that's hard. Probably Led Zeppelin, Whole Lotta Love. I know this is probably one of my favorite songs to personally dance to and perform to. It has so many musical components and I just think it's badass, and I love how rock and roll it is and sexy, and yeah, I'd probably have to say Whole Lotta Love, Led Zeppelin. And now I want to add so many more. That's a hard question. I also love choreographing to The Runaways. Also very badass and just very empowering. Elvis, duh. I'm a showgirl, so I love that old school retro feel. And I love rock and roll.
My question for you is, are there any goals or expectations for yourself, for your future, that you felt that you have had to pivot on? Have you had to maybe come up with a different plan or accept a different outcome, or maybe in the process realize that there's something that you wanted that you no longer want anymore?
Okay, this made me think and this made me feel and really reflect. And the first thing that comes to my mind is the very first kind of big woof I had to navigate in the dance world was my big dream of being a rockette. Growing up, that's like all I wanted was to be a rockette and be in New York. And I think the realization was I'm only 5'3", and that is not the height of a rockette. Over the years, they have lowered their height requirements. I think the shortest dancer right now is 5'5", but then again, I'm 5'3". It's just not a realistic dream. And so when I found that out, I was a little crushed, and I remember that, and I think that's why I got a bunch of tattoos. Woo, rebel. Also another big thing was when my visa got denied for the States. I was working on my O1 visa and I had a really strong application and package put together. I lived in LA for 6 months prior when I was working on that, and that was like what I was focusing on. Also, growing up as a dancer in my time, we were always told the steps to make it was to basically do a cruise ship, get your visa, and go to LA. And I did a cruise ship. I worked on my visa for LA. I moved there to really see if that's what I wanted, and that was the dream. And then my visa got denied and it was crushed. I was crushed, and that was hard for me because I was told my whole life that's the next step. So I really thought I failed, and I was really hard on myself. But now I know that my visa was denied, not because of anything I did. It was just a really bad time. When the elections were, it was a really bad time. Let's just say that. And now being my age, I personally wouldn't want to live in LA. I think I'm more of a New York girl. And so if I was to get my visa one day, because I still have those big dreams of dancing for stars, but just in different capacity now, I would want to get my full visa, not just my O1 to be a dancer, just because I've evolved into a bunch of different creative things. And I feel like it would be a different way I do it. And I think it would be more aligning to me now. So weirdly, I think it was a blessing in disguise to become who I needed to be. And well, not weirdly, we know that's why, but I I've had to give myself a lot of grace. And now I'm just like, you know what? I love this for me.
Other than this podcast, what is the biggest dream you have right now that you are scared to admit to anyone?
I had to do a lot of thinking on this, and I'm like, well, I guess I actually have a lot. I want to fall in love. I want to travel the world, and I really want a dog. I know I'm not in the place right now to get a dog because I know I want to travel, but I would love to have a dog one day. Call him Elvis. I actually started an Instagram account when the Elvis movie came out because, oh my God, it was insane how many accounts were being made that had the word Elvis in it. And I was like, oh, absolutely not. They are not taking my future dog's name. So it's your Bud Elvis, like you are Bud Elvis. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, that is a dream one day, but I really want to travel and I really want to create content. And also, when I'm older, I think it would be really unbelievable to be a film director. That's something I would just love to do at some time in my life, or even like get into casting. And I just love giving artists who deserve the opportunities. It's the best feeling ever. I think that.
So my question is about purpose. I was just talking to my close friend about purpose and how when you come up to something in life that knocks you off of your purpose, how you can find your way back to it again. And I know a lot of women face that with really hard life events, or even just becoming a mom and you're only focusing on your kids after, maybe you're going through a divorce, an injury, a loss. I know I've experienced all of them, and now I'm wondering where my purpose went, and losing that is like having lost my energy and my motivation. And while my kids are my biggest purpose through everything in life, I have to have purpose for myself. And my question is how do you go back to your purpose or make steps to find your purpose again in a season of life that's maybe made you more tired or feel like, what's the point? Because I know that we've all been there.
Okay, firstly, this is so normal to feel this way when you move through hard things or when change is happening. And just remember to be kind to yourself. Be so kind to yourself. One time, my mom gave me this notebook and it had inspirational quotes at the bottom of it. And I'll never forget this, but there was one quote when I was writing stuff down, and it says, when a dream falls and shatters and breaks into a million little pieces, don't be afraid to pick up one of those pieces and start again. Now, hopefully I said that quote right, but it was basically along those lines. But I have applied that to my life, and when things were really confusing, about 5 years ago when my dad died, I had no idea where to start. I was so lost. So honestly, I'm a different person through that whole entire thing. And I didn't know what steps to take. And I stopped dancing altogether. And well, I decided to take a little piece of my dreams with dance and take a little step into the direction of moving forward. And basically, I just followed whatever came to my mind first. And I followed my intuition. And I have been doing that for basically 2-ish years, just over 2 years now. Yeah, I started the Bombshells in November of 2023. So almost 2 years. And I've just been leading with whatever inspires me month to month. And it's been a beautiful journey. And that's why I decided to do the exact same thing with the podcast. And honestly, dreams are unfolding so much with this podcast. And so my advice to you is to write down on a piece of paper all the things that spark your spark. And it might be really hard at first, but just don't be hard on yourself and allow it some time. And if nothing comes to your piece of paper, come back the next day and try again. But I dare you to put like a timer on of 1 minute. I do this with my mentorships. I like to kind of light a little fire underneath their butts and say, you have 1 minute to write down whatever comes to your brain, and whatever comes up first, write it down. And there's no wrong answers, there's no silly answers, whatever. Just let your brain kind of word vomit on that paper of all the things that spark your spark. And it's going to be pretty amazing what comes up. I also dare you to maybe do this every single day, and you'll start to probably see some similar things pop up every single day. Well, those things that are popping up all the time are probably the first step of what you should be putting your focus into. And just, again, zoom out when things get really stressful and just breathe in, breathe out, and just know taking just a little step adds up every single day. And you got this. You got this so much. So much. So I hope this helps you. Okay, we have time for one last call-in question, so let's play the message.
Christina Schell, I have a question for you. What do you think your life's purpose is? I know this is a deep one, but I'm also curious because you, my dear, have lived so much life and you've had so many cool experiences, and I feel like you are destined to make an impact in this world. So what do you think is that gem, that spark, that thing that you are going to leave behind? I'm curious to know.
Okay, this is a beautiful question, and oh my goodness, I don't even know if I can fully answer it. I think I'm still trying to discover my life purpose. But if I had to answer what my life purpose would be in this podcast today, I think I am this creative spark that enters people's lives at the right time to inspire them to chase their own dreams and to really just remind them how amazing they are and that they deserve to be seen and deserve to be chasing their dreams. And I think I hold a safe space for artists to be creative and to put themselves out there. Or I think I'm this creative spark that people come into, passing with, or I come into their life to, just remind them that they can do anything. And there's been there's so many people I follow on the internet where I'm like, wow, she's so cool. Like, I dream to meet her. Like, for instance, Hannah Berner. I think she's so inspirational, and she makes me feel like I can chase my dreams and I can be silly and I can just be myself, and I don't even know her, and I think that's really cool. Anyways, I think I just want to really have a platform and do things in really big capacities to be able to inspire people. So for instance, like, I dream that this podcast gets so big that I get to go on a tour with it, because I love to perform. I've always loved the stage. It's where I feel the most me, and I'm not performing right now with dance. And it's really interesting because obviously those are my dreams, and hello, put me in. But I also see this podcast becoming a big show, and I don't know how to put that into words, but I feel like my big purpose in this wild, crazy life is to keep people inspired and to make them chase their own dreams, and to just be that creative person that's cool and badass and funny and makes people just feel good. And yeah, what a question. I loved that. Also, I saved that question for last because that was Courtney Napper, and Courtney Napper is actually going to be on our podcast episode next week. Our episode next week is talking all about confidence, and it's going to be such a special episode. It's also my very first episode with a sponsor. So next week's episode is a sponsored episode, which is so awesome. And the support that people are pouring into my podcast, Life in a Shell, I feel really grateful. And if you are a small business or a brand and you would like to be a sponsor of this podcast, message me. I would love to chat. And while we're at it, I just want to tell you guys to make sure you are following Life in a Shell podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you are following from, and comment on the show. Let's have a little chat. Give it a 5-star review, and also come over to Instagram and follow me there at Christina Schell. You can find the links to everything in the show notes. And yeah, I hope you are enjoying the podcast and stay tuned for all the exciting things coming. Like I mentioned, tomorrow I have a vlog releasing on my YouTube, and I would love to have a few more subscribers over there. So it's not just one, that's probably my grandma, bless. But yeah, I'm just really grateful for you guys for tuning in and supporting this podcast, because this is my biggest dream. So thank you so much. And if you want to support this podcast, but maybe you're not a brand or a small business, well, you can help support the podcast, and you can help support the arts, a woman in the arts, aka me. I have added my PayPal link to the link that is in my show notes. That link is everywhere on all of my socials. You will find everything in there, from my Instagram to my Spotify to my YouTube to some really amazing affiliate codes, and that will give you like really good discounts. So yeah, you should go check it out. But I appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, I'm excited for next week's episode. Let's jump into today's song. So this week I am going to feature T-Bird and the Breaks, because I love this song. This song I have been dancing around in my apartment to for years, and I think it's beautiful, and it's called Blackberry Brandy, and it's just a real good, feel-good song, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Tell your friends, spread the word, and I hope you go watch the vlog tomorrow. Have an amazing week, everybody. I will talk to you next week, and enjoy this song. Get up, dance a little, rock out a little, or a lot. Anyways, this is T-Bird and the Breaks, Blackberry Brandy. Bye, everybody. See you next time.
Sitting on a bench, wasting my time. Friend come by, had $1, so we went and bought some wine. Walking down the tracks, laughing and drinking. My feet start to stumble and my breath start to stinking. Blackberry brandy, $3 wine. Tall boys in 40s, they give me every time. Passing a bottle, I wind up in the can. Get out tomorrow, I'm gonna do it again. And I know I should be looking for a job, but it sounds too much like work to me. Working hard, hardly working. You can take me out and put some other jerk in. Money in the bank, it sure come in handy, but it don't taste nothing like that blackberry brandy. Blackberry brandy, $3 wine. Tall boys in 40s, they give me every time. Passing a bottle, I wind up in the can. Get out tomorrow, I'm gonna do it again. I know I should be looking for a job, but it sounds too much like work to me. Yeah. Sitting on a bench, wasting my time. Friend come by, had $1, said, man, let's go and get some wine. Walking down the tracks, should be looking for a job, baby. But it sounds too much like work to me.